Okay. Okay, today we're going to go over the app just to make sure that we have everything ready and can be confirmed that what we're doing already is spot on, or maybe just maybe get a little new ideas of what we also could be doing. So right now we are going to the app. So I'm going to go in on the app on my screen right now. You can follow along. This is my phone, and I'm going to show you everything. You can follow along here and also use it to follow along at the same time directly from your phone. Let's go ahead. Right now, I'm going to open up the app, just like that. Now, we have learned before that in case we've forgotten or we're newer, the app is kind of like a book. So I don't want you to, some people say, oh, I'm not really technical inclined, and that's a fair thing. Or I'm just super cool in technology, right? No matter where we're at in this area, guess what? The app is easy. And I'm not saying it because I'm just used to working in the app. It's because if you liken it onto a book, the app is kind of like a book that we just have on our phone. And it's all about turning pages or going to a chapter and then turn pages back and forth in this book. And I've had many people that have said, oh my gosh, I've never done this before. And after they've gone through a training or things like that, they have called me and just go, oh my gosh, this is just a wonderful tool for business outreach. And that's exactly what this app is. Now, I have several surprises lined up about the app that is not ready yet, but today I'm going to show you this surprise I have for you. It is for the entire field, but you're going to be the first ones to know about it. So right now, I am on what we call the home page or tools page. If you go to the bottom of the screen, you see that there is a horizontal menu bar. I kind of call it chapters in the book. One of my chapters is tools. You see it has a circle with yellow. You can also see I have more chapters that you don't have yet. Don't you worry about that. That's because I am preparing some things for a surprise in some couple of months that is going to rock your world. So, but right now, go to tools. But the first thing we're going to do when we go to in the app is always remember to refresh. And refresh is simply so we make sure we have the most updated material on the app. It takes 2 seconds. This is how I always do it. This is just the way I like to do it. I am in tools, making sure at the bottom that circle is yellow where it says tools. Then I'm just going to go up to the top. I'm going to put my finger on the screen and pull down until it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it's that easy. Now I have refreshed. Now, how many times should you refresh? You should always refresh every time you go into the app. We have a chat coming in. Let me just look at this. Could the volume be increased? I can see if it's my volume. Does this sound better? I just turned it up a little bit. So hopefully that works better. Now, if you have been in the app, let's say we're working now in the app, and then in a couple of hours, you're going to go back into the app and okay, it works. And then back into the app and going, should I refresh then? Yes. Make it a habit of always refreshing every time you go into the app, because guess what? You don't know what has been uploaded on my end, on the company's end of new material. So let's make sure you all have refreshed, because we're going to go down and discover the surprise. Are you ready? I'm going to scroll down. As you can see right here, you see those bold letterings right here? Those are called categories. It's kind of like subchapters. They just divide the material here on the home page, so it is easy for you to access. So let's say that you wanted to go to and share a video. You just go to the video section, and then you can choose from in there. It's that simple. But we're going to go and find a new category that I just barely made sure I added right before this call. We're going to go down, see if you can find it. Wait, what? What's this? Now you can see you have the corporate call invite right here, but that's not new. This one is Engage Store Link. You might go, really? Yes, but let's take a look, shall we? We tap on it. That's how we choose material. It opens up to a sharing page. The reason why I call it sharing is because it says sharing in that big yellow long button right there. So if you don't want to share it with anybody, guess what? You just tap the link and voila. It will upload here in a couple of seconds, just a little slow. I have tested it already. And then you can log in just like that. I'm going to tap done in the top left corner to kind of go back where I was before. Now it took me back one page. I'm not on the home page still. So I'm going to turn the pages one more back, and I do that in the top left corner with that back arrow that is up there. Just one tap and I'm back. So you might go, is this really a fun thing? Yes. This is, we can call it swag store. It is called Engage Store. There's swag in there and marketing materials that you can use or share with people as well. So this is a great way for you to be aware of what is available also like this. We've had several people that go, it's so difficult for them to either find that store. So I have decided to make it easy for everybody. And that's the surprise. So I hope you like it. So that's one. Now let's take a further look in here. Now the app is not meant to do the work for you at this point. It is meant as a business outreach tool for you to keep track of your business, to share material and do your outreach through here. So let's take a look at what that could look like. Well, we already know that we can share material. Let's just run over that really quickly, how we really do that again. I know I kind of showed you a little bit with that link, but let's do something else. Let's say I'm going to go to PDFs right down here. And I'm going to choose I can tap on a little bit to the right, the one that says see all right here. And we have someone else coming in. And I'm going to scroll down. It expands the view. So now I can see a lot of different ones. And I want you to take the time. I'm going to look for something specific. I'm going to look for one called high retention tracking. And I can't see the entire wording, but I can see somebody that said high retentio. And so I'm finding it right here. You can see on the first line on my screen, right to the right. I'm going to tap on that. Doesn't matter what you choose at this point because the actions that we're going to do are going to be the same. I'm having a chat coming in. So Carol is saying she can't get in, web page not available. I'm going to double check that after. I can't do it right now on this call, but I'm definitely going to double check that at this point. Right now, we're going to go and share on this one and simply tap high retention like this. I chose high retention tracking. Doesn't mean that you have to just choose any document. It takes me in again to that sharing page that I showed you before. And now I have some options. I can either right next to that document on top. I keep getting beautiful chats in. Let's see here. And let's see, somebody else chatted in. Yeah, we got yeah. Belinda said, did you refresh the page? Please remember to refresh the page and double check to see again. But either way, I will double check after the training as well. Now, right next to this document on top, you see a pair of glasses. Like here, if I tap on that, it expands the view. So it allows me to see what I'm really actually either sharing or wanting to look at myself. I'm going to tap down in the top left corner. Or the heart is making it into a favorite of mine. That means that on the tools page, it will turn up as one of my favorites. I'm going to take you down and turn the pages backwards one step here. And one more. I'm going back to the home page because I want to show you. See my favorites right here? Yes, that's where that would come in. And that I can pop up as many things in here under my favorites so I don't have to go look for it every time I want to. And then changes as much as I want. We have another chat coming in. Yeah, okay. Is that, hang on. Okay, she's getting the same message. Okay, thank you for trying, guys. What we're going to do here, I'm still going to look into it after. And actually, let's do this just for a second here. And back in business. So, and I'm just going to start this. So we are in the middle of sharing a document right here. high retention, we can make it into favorites. Let's go down at the bottom of the screen. Right now we have that big long share button right there that takes us in. We can also download, that's that little arrow going down, or ask about more information. But right now we're going to tap share. Now we get 3 different kinds of sharing in here. And I want to make sure that we understand something really cool in here. The app does provide tracking for our actions in here, who we actually share with, and things like that. And normally it's only SMS, that means texting, that it will track from. But one of the new features that I implanted in here was that it can also track something else. If you choose to message people, that means go through social media, not on a platform, but in the message section of social media on Facebook, you can actually, it will track that for you as well. So, but right now I'm just going to send to contact right here. I'm tapping that. It takes me into contacts. If you haven't done this before, try use yourself. But if you have tried it before, simply you can share something now or just follow along. Right now, I have still different options right now. I have chosen a contact already, and this is now that if I were to send a social message, this is where I want to do it from in here, because that will take me into Messenger, and that allows the app to track. And I will show you why this is super awesome a little later, because follow up is absolutely magical words and actions we can do when we want to build businesses, even in human relations. Follow up with human. We know the same thing with humans. We know the things when we create friendships and you have friends. Was it because you only talked to them one time? I think not, right? That's because we kept following up and say, hey, how did it go? I know you had this and this or something like that. That's how we create even relations in a friendship. The same thing works in business. So let's now go here. I have chosen, I'm just going to text right now. I know you know this. So this is the magical place. Now I can actually send a message, and this is going to be a texting message coming in. And the first rules of thumb that you know I've said before is, remember, texting is not meant to be a novel or a life story, even though it doesn't mean you don't have worthwhile things to say. It's just not the platform to do it. So give them a text that allows you to follow up with more of a story or more of something of this. In this case, let's pretend that I've talked to Cinderella and I'm going to call her by her name. So she knows that I'm not just either just doing a mass text or just copy pasting or something like that. And then the first step, this is a business text that I'm going to show you now, and I'm going to show you all 3 steps. Normally in the overall trainings I do for just corporate, for the field in general, I only give 2 of the steps. This is a business text. This is an example of a good business text in its principles. So obviously you can provide your own words. So I'm going to say, I've talked to Cinderella about something. In this case, I'm sharing high retention tracking. So I've talked to her about that. So I'm just going to say, hi, Cinderella. And I'm going to close that call. And I'm going to say, so I'm using myself as referral. I've talked to her about high retention. So now I'm following up with her, referring to her about something. Here's I can see document or whatever it is that I have shared, I'm about to share. The document I talked to you about. And now we're not done. That's all. So remember, I have already talked to her. I'm not cold sending her something. So I'm following up with her. So that's all I'm writing about that, using myself and her actually as a referral for why I'm saying it. That's good business. Now, especially on a text. And now I do the magic that is the time frame. I do have to give a time frame because I don't know if she remembers, and I'm not going to take it for granted. And I certainly don't want to put it on her shoulders and say, don't you remember? That's just not, we're not at school and it's not a test, right? So at this point, I'm simply going to say, here's the document I talked to you about last, and then whatever last is, last week, last month, yesterday, or whatever. I'm just going to say last week in this case. That's super cool. So we have the personal greeting, we are using ourselves and her as a reference for why we're sending something. So that's good. Now the third step is very simple and it's almost magical, because at this point we actually want to make sure that we have an opening to reach out to her. We don't know what she's going to do with the text, and that's fair because that's the way with texts. We don't know. So at this point, I'm actually going to open up a door and saying something else. Now, the first part of this was about following up with something I talked to her about. Here's the document that I talked to you about, or that we talked about, or whatever it is. So that's fine. Now, my next part of that text is slightly different, but it still belongs here. And I can say something, either want to catch up, all depending how well I know her, right? Want to catch up over lunch. Let's pretend she lives nearby. If she doesn't live nearby, what can you do? I'll talk to you about that in a couple of seconds. Let's pretend she lives maybe within reasonable distance from you, right? So this will be, I want to catch up over lunch. I'm kind of casual with her. If I'm not casual with her, you're going to write something else. You can't say wanna, right? Then you say, let's catch up. You can also say, let's catch up over lunch. That's my favorite because that's not indicating one or the other. So that's my personal favorite here. And let's make sure that we do that correctly. Let's catch up over lunch. And now I want you to pay attention to what I'm actually including right now. A lot of times we do this already. I have no doubt that you guys are doing great outreach already. Sometimes, not necessarily you guys, but others, we might forget this next part, thinking that we already did it somehow. Let's catch up over lunch. And then I'm going to come with a suggestion, let's say Tuesday next week, or a time, or a date at 1 p.m. Now, if we're in the same time zone, that works just fine, right? Now, you might think, well, Tia, isn't that pushy? Well, I can certainly see, and that's a very normal reaction to me having a text like this. Right before we talk more about this, let me just go ahead and send it. So that's what I'm going to write. A greeting, a reference, using myself and her, whatever we talked about as a reference for why I'm sending her the material. And now I'm taking the third step. I'm actually reaching out for something else. Now, if you don't live in the same state, what you don't want to catch up over lunch, well, what about a phone call? Let's just say, hey, want to catch up? Can I call next Tuesday at 1 p.m.? That's how that works. Yeah. So almost the same. Actually, it's just the phone call that's different than the lunch. But you still include a time and place. I was about a time and date. I'm going to say next right now, and then I'm going to talk more about why that step. And then I'm going to go ahead and send it. And now I get this, I get to tap done. And then we go and get to see the text right here. And this is what it would look like for her. Very pretty. And she can open that little up. Let's talk about what this text does. The reason why I can't just write let's catch up over lunch, or let's catch up over a phone call, and let that be it. If I do that, let's look at the psychology here. If I do that, what we actually are doing, I am giving Cinderella now homework. If I'm writing, let's catch up over lunch and nothing else, I'm actually now indirectly and very directly giving her homework that she should come up to with a time that she wants to meet me. More importantly, even if it doesn't go that far, I'm leaving it very open for her to just say no. And then where am I going to go after that? Nowhere. So I'm being service-minded. I'm coming with a suggestion. Let's catch up over lunch Tuesday next week at 1 p.m. That's a fair thing to request. And she can go, oh, no, that doesn't work. Okay. Then she will come with another suggestion. So I'm being ahead of the game. I'm not pushing her. I'm servicing her, not giving her homework. All she actually has to do is saying yes or no. But I'm also being smart because I am indicating that if she does say no, she could maybe come with another suggestion of time, whether for lunch or a phone call. And it doesn't always mean that we want to meet everybody for lunch, even if we do live close by. So you can definitely use phone call no matter what. But those are the options. This is a 3-step, really good business outreach text. and we can obviously leave out the document if we're not sharing a document. Hey, Cinderella, let's catch up over lunch and stuff like that. Yes, you can totally do that as well. But those are the principles of it, for the reason why we keep it short, but still personable enough without leaving Cinderella with homework for something we could just take care of ourselves. So that's an example of a good business outreach text, and it works wonders. So let's go back to the app at this point. When we go back to the app, sometimes it remembers where we were at. Sometimes. So don't let that scare you if you come back to the app and saying, that's not the page I was on, or things like that. That is okay. But usually it will take you back now to the home page again. So now we're back at the home page. There's still things to share right here. We do have other options to share right here, such as the join links. Let's take a look at that. This has something to do with enrolling others online. It is not the details that I'm going to leave to Sadie, but it is something to do with online enrollment. So I do want you to pay attention to this, and this is a great way. We talked to Cinderella, so let's take a look at that. I've blabbed to her, and she wants to become an affiliate. So what do I do? Well, I go to the app, I go to join links. All these 3 links in here, the green, the blue, and the yellow, take anyone directly to my replicated website. The green one takes them not just to the website, but to that specific page where a preferred customer can sign up. The blue one also takes them to my replicated website, but to the exact page where an affiliate can sign up, thereby creating a smoother process of people going directly there instead of having to click on different pages and not really know where they're going. The yellow one is also to your replicated website, but just to the home page. And so that would be awesome as well to share. Well, let's do a scenario. We talked to Cinderella already. She's on fire, that girl, and she wants to enroll as an affiliate. So I'll go here to join links. I'll simply tap on the blue, and it takes me into the sharing page. But before I start sharing it, I am going to do something really cool. And you might not think it's cool first, but I will explain to you as we go along why this is a super cool business move. I am going down. I'm not going to share it right now. I'm going to do something for myself at this point, being a super cool business owner. I'm going to tap where it says link. I'm just going to tap on that, kind of in the middle of the page, just like that. What I'm looking for is I want to see what it looks like for Cinderella's point of view when she gets to tap the link. Why? We're going to talk about why that is so important. But first, we're going to look at here. Okay, I'm going, okay, the Engage logo, and she will be asked to put in her email address. I'm good. That's all. I'm going to tap done in the top left corner. That takes me back to the previous page where I can share now to Cinderella. So now I'm ready. I have now prepared to share, and I can let her know this. I'm actually, that day I'm sharing this with her, I'm actually sitting with Cinderella, and we're sitting, maybe having lunch. And I'm saying, I'm just going to share it with you right now. Is that cool? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to share, and then I'm going to go send to contact. I'm going to find Cinderella, which today we're just going to pretend it's me, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to choose the phone number, and then I might tell her, and I can't just send it without an outreach text. I'm going to just say link. And because I'm sitting next to her, I'm just saying, Cinderella, is it okay if I don't write something out for you with this enrollment link? Or I could say just enrollment link, right? So she knows, oh yeah, that's fine. Good. And then I could tap next, and I send it, and it's done. And then I go in, hey, Cinderella, would you mind going in and just double checking that it's actually arrived? Oh, and she sees it in her text prompt, and she goes, oh my gosh, that looks super cool. And I'm going, yes. Now, and she might say, but see, I'm not going to enroll right now. We're sitting having so much fun. Oh, that's fine. I'll let her know. I'll probably do it later, she says. Okay. Well, when you tap the link, let me just tell you something. And this is my knowledge now that I'm going to use for her. When you do tap the link, the first thing you're going to see is you're going to see the Engage logo. And then it's going to ask you to put in your email address. That way you know that you've arrived at the right place. Well, let's see. Later that evening, I'm going to pretend I'm Cinderella, and she's going to go, okay, I'm going to go in and enroll now. Tia told me just to press the link. I'm going to tap the link, and now I'm going to sit and wait. And she's going to wait for what? For what I told her that she's going to see. And is she going to see it? Yes, she is seeing exactly that. She's seeing the engaged logo and she's seeing the request for putting in her email address. Cinderella's going to do it. Why? Because it creates a form of familiarity for her. Has she been here before? No. She even thinks that she recognizes it. Why can't she recognize it? Has she been here before? Again, no. But because I told her what she could expect to see, and thereby creating a form of trust that when she is ready to enroll, the last thing I want her to be worried about is whether or not she arrived at the right page. Why? Because she's going to be asked to put in personal information. So I want her to feel safe, comfortable, and that I have her back. And the easiest way for me to do that is simply preparing her on how that would look for her when she opens that link. So let's all do ourselves as business owners that favor to simply prepare our peoples when they sign up before they tap the link, telling them what they can expect to see. If that means that I have to tap the link first before I send it, just to remind myself, that's fair. That's okay. That's exactly what you saw me do. I double checked that it hadn't changed or anything like that. And then I could tell her that's good business. That not only shows how much you care, it shows investing your time and interest in her experience or in his experience. In this case, it was Cinderella, experience in enrolling. That can be felt, and that makes a big difference for anyone that is entering into a company on these uncharted territory that they're going in on, right? Now, let's go back to the app. So right now it remembers where I was before. I'm not worried. I want to go back to the home page, top left corner arrow, turn pages backwards, and I'm back. Well, Cinderella apparently is super cool. And in the meantime, while I'm doing that and stuff like that, I'm also enrolling a preferred customer. So her name is Snow White. And so I've been chatting up a storm with her and she's super excited. So she wants to enroll a preferred customer. I go here, let me share the link with you. And the process is very similar. So I'll tap the green here and then I'm going to go to the middle of my screen where it says link. I'm going to tap that link. And then I'm going to see, this is my fake one. So that's why it says deleted. But what I'm going to see is this. Look how wonderful these colors are, right? And then I'm going to look at this. I'm going, okay, so now I can do exactly the same for Snow White. I'm going to tap done in the top left corner. I might be telling her when I go in and share these things, I might just tell her and say, hey, when you do tap the link, just know it's going to take you to my page and it's going to have a lot of different products on in different squares with different colors. It looks absolutely amazing. When you see that, you've arrived at the right place. That's easy. Or you can say, hey, look at my name in the top or things like that, right? All kind of things that are good to help her feel familiar and recognize it as she goes in. So she feels that she's arrived at the right place and ready to start the enrollment. That's still good business. Now, we're not going to share this already, but we are just going to do a little reminder on how awesome. I'm going to go back right here and do another chapter right now really quickly as the follow-up chapter on the app. If it's a different chapter, so we got to go to the menu bar at the bottom and go into the middle of it where it says feed. On my feed right now, we do see that there's a red circle with 1 inside of it. That means if you see that on yours, that's okay. You haven't done anything wrong. It means that you have a notification that you haven't viewed yet. What a great way for you as a business owner to not stress over missing a beat or anything. You just find feed. Feed is your friend. If you haven't been into feed before ever, this is going to be great. If you have, you probably already have discovered what a great friend it is for any business builder. But let's take a look, shall we? I'm going to go ahead and tap on it. Feed will feed you, yes, say that 5 times fast. Feed will feed you information in 3 different areas. The first one is it will feed you information about corporate calendar events. So if you go in here now, feed is not a sharing place because the only place you share, remember, was from the tools section, the homepage we've been on. So this is for your eyes as a business owner. So you go in here and say, oh, maybe I should do the recognition call, or maybe I should do opportunity meeting or optimal, whatever. And all you do, you can see the little yellow dots means that you haven't opened them. So all you have to do is really just tap on it like this. That opens up telling you a little more about this call and also providing a Zoom link. This Zoom link you can use, but guess what? You cannot share in here. You can't even copy from in here. Wait, what to do then? Now, remember on the home page earlier, I showed you that there was corporate Zoom link right there. I'm just going to stay in here if you followed along. Right now, I'm going to move to tools in the home page and I'll move back in here. Down at the bottom, tools, I'm going to move to a different chapter. I'm going to scroll up. Look at this. That blue square right there says Zoom. That's corporate call invites. If I tap on that little baby, I can share this Zoom call with everybody for these different events. These are for the corporate call events that I can do that. So that I'm going to go back into feed right now. So let's say get started, training was canceled. So we have different ones here, but all of these recognition calls for Zoom calls, look at this one. I can go in and just join. I can join directly from in here, but if you want to share it to invite somebody else to join you, then you share it from the home page. I'm going to tap down in the top right corner this time. So that's one thing. It will feed you information as reminders to you as a business affiliate, what is coming up and easy for you to join. Now, the next part is it will also track all your actions you do from the app. And I mentioned that earlier in this training as well. So let's take a look what it really does. Right now, early in this training, I shared, we called her Cinderella, but it really was me, high retention tracking device right here. You can see it right here. And it does say that I sent a PDF high retention tracking to Tia Hansen via text. Now, if it had really been Cinderella, her name would have been on there instead of mine. So it tells you what you actually, it tells you what you actually have done and who you have sent material with. This is really good for following up. First of all, so you don't resend the same thing, but it's not quite enough, is it? Because it's great that you can track your own actions, but wouldn't it be wonderful if you also could track the actions of the people you send material to? And you can. Now, I sent this high retention tracking earlier on, and later I sent this affiliate join link to Cinderella, remember, for her to sign up. Now, she had told me she wasn't going to do it right there, but later, and I'm going to wonder, gee, I wonder if she actually clicked the link. Well, let's go ahead and see if she did. And that's the third option. It will track the actions of the people you sent material with if they open it or anything they do. If it's a video, it will say if they have seen it or viewed it. So right now it says right here on top where I'm moving it, it says that she clicked the link. Now you don't know by this whether or not she completed the enrollment. For that knowledge, we have two options. If you do want to know this, you either can follow up with her, simply shoot her a text or ask her, hey, do you have any questions about the enrollment process? This will be great for you a follow-up anyway, because you know she clicked the link, but you just don't know just by looking at this that whether she completed the enrollment. What a great interest and investment that you do in anyone coming in here when you shared enrollment links to simply say, hey, do you have any questions about the enrollment process? They might tell you, no, I did it already, that worked great. Or you actually going to catch them and saying, yeah, I did get a little confusing. You know what? That makes total sense. You can answer back and saying, why don't I help you in going through it? What questions do you have? Or do you want me to sit next to you and do, or whatever, on the phone or whatever works, right? What a great way of showing interest, following up, and also resolving concerns. But there is another thing you also could do. Now, am I saying hereby you should never reach out to them in person? No. But if you want more information before you reach out, and you've seen this, that somebody clicked the enrollment link, you could go to your back office and it will actually show up there. So let's do that really quickly, shall we? You can access your back office directly from your app as well. So I'm just going to move one over in the menu bar at the bottom where it says business and tap on that little baby. And right now I'm just going to go in here and say your back office right here and open that baby up. So there are tons of things we can move around in here. It's really not the app, it is the back office, but I am going to show you what you can do directly in here, again, for something on the app on feed. That's what we're talking about, how you can see even more information about what Cinderella actually did with the enrollment link. So I do have someone saying something. Let me just. So right now we are back in the back office. Remember, we were looking at feed in the app, wondering if Cinderella had completed the enrollment process. We could see in feed that she had clicked the link, but we don't actually know if she completed it just by looking at that. We will follow up with her for sure. But before we do, you might want to go in here as well. You could do this. Now in here, you want to go to the menu section right now. So that's what I'm going to do. And that is on when we do it from the phone all the way to the left, top left, you see 3 lines. I call them menu lines. I'm going to tap on those. That reveals all the menu, but in the top right corner, you see a bell in that blue square. That bell is a notification bell, kind of like on Facebook, and it notifies you on many things that happens on your team. It's almost magical. And in here, it will tell me if I have gained a new affiliate. Let's go ahead and see. It does say that I have gained a new affiliate. It's not Cinderella, and we use Sadie here in this one, but I've gained one. Now, this could be one way also for you to check to see if she actually completed the process. If her name does not show up, that means she hasn't completed it, and she might think she did. There could be tons of different reasons why. Maybe she needed to go somewhere, or maybe she had other arrangements, so she started it and she clicked the link. Maybe she got concerned and couldn't reach out to you, or maybe she just, that could be anything. So this is not instead of reaching out. I'm going to tap done up in the top left corner. That way it throws me out of the back office and back into the app. Now I'm going to go to feed at the bottom in the menu bar, change chapters, and I'm back in feed. So remember, when you're in here, make feed your friend. It is absolutely vital to follow up. It creates such a big difference, not just in the beginning as you build your business, but also as a retention tool. Follow up, resolving concerns, and listen. There's so many good. Last time we were here, I taught in retention for you guys, and that retention document device that I also showed earlier in this training that I just pretended to share. They all are supporting you in following up what you could be saying, so you don't have to come up with it yourself. Not that you couldn't. And in this case, whether Cinderella completed the enrollment or not, you know she clicked the link. Perfect indication for you to say, I'm going to reach out right now. Send her a link and say, hey, how's the enrollment process going? Right? And that's all it takes. Then she can answer back or anything, but you know, when she reads it, she's gonna think, huh, someone remembers me. Or you could say, how's the enrollment going? Do you have any questions about it? You know, sometimes it might be confusing, or whatever your wording is. But remember, no life stories on text. That's not what it's meant to. It is actually what is shown is that too long texts will have the opposite effect of what we intended it to have, meaning it's going to be a tsunami of information, whatever good it is, but tsunami nevertheless is a threatening thing and can drown people in too much information. So what you're trying to communicate will not have the effect that you really wanted. So keep that in mind with business texts, and rather use them as a device to reach out, follow up, and then see how much you can do either in person, over phone, or anything like that next to that. So remember to make feed your friend. Again, there are some great things that's going to come up. I have showed you this before. You are should not be seeing this on your phone. So if you don't have it, that's okay. That's exactly what it should be like. But this is going to come up and create really fun stuff for you. And that's another big surprise I'm going to have, hopefully sooner than later for everybody. But that is the end of this training for today, where we just dove in a little more and got reminded, hopefully, of what we already are doing. And so you can feel confirmed that you are doing just fine. And the few of us that might need a little bit of tweaking, well, we know that too. I'm going to just stop the recording right now, and then I can see questions coming in. Hang tight.